Bonjour, Kinamagi and Nene Ireland Indigenous coming live to you from Milan with our next episode in My Math. Welcome to our chapter review. We're going to utilize the review on page 67, 68, and 69 to help you prepare for the test. At the very end, I will have a few questions available in the Google Classroom, just a selection of items to kind of give me an idea on your level of preparation, as our next session will be our actual chapter test. So it's important that you know the vocabulary. We might forget 13 times 13, but if we know all of the words that are important to math, when we get into our upper levels, you'll have that concept more deeply ingrained in your mind, and it'll be easier to access and be successful. So the first part is choosing the correct words to complete each sentence. I'm going to go ahead and turn the answers on right here. If you want to, you may go ahead and pause the video in a minute and see if you can guess the answers. You probably already know them. So go ahead, pause the video, fill it in, and then come back to me. Go ahead and pause it now. Welcome back. Let's see how you did. We'll turn the answers on. Decimals that have the same value are equivalent decimals. An example of this would be 2.7 and 2.70. They have the same value. Although there are more digits in there, you could annex a 0 on the 2.7 to have them be exactly the same. And remember, equa kind of means equal. So these are equal decimals. 2, place value is a system for writing numbers. In this system, the position of a digit determines its value. So a 7 in the hundreds place is worth 700, but in the ones place, it's only worth 7. 3, the usual or common way to write a number is called standard form. When you're doing simple math, you're writing it out in standard form. Most of you aren't writing it out in expanded form or word form. Just how you regularly write numbers, standard form. 4, the way of writing a number as the sum of the values of its digits is called expanded form. This is where you get 3 times 10 plus 1 times 1 plus 3 times 1/10 gives you 31.3. That's what we're working on here. 5, a decimal is a number that has a digit in the tenths place, hundredths place, and or beyond. So anytime you have something other than a whole number, that's a decimal. 27.3, for example. Number 6, the decimal point is a period separating the ones and the tenths in a decimal number. So 2.7, that little point that we keep talking about, is the decimal point. And number 7, a place value chart is a chart that shows the value of the digits in a number. Much of this vocabulary will be on the test when I write it here this week, and it's important that you know them. If you need to review this a few times, keep the video paused, or pause the video, and then go ahead and write them down or make flashcards. Maybe create a Quizlet for it. Okay, let's go on. I'm going to turn the answers off before we go to the next page here. And this is where we're going to start checking the concept. This is where I want you to do some work. I want you to first go ahead and do 8, 9, 10, and 11. So we'll do 4 problems, on average 4 to 5 problems, and then we'll review them together. Each time, pause the video, then go ahead, do it on the paper or in a notebook, however, and then check your answers against mine. So let's go ahead and pause the video. Welcome back. Let's look at this one, number 5. or sorry, number 8, the 5 is in the thousands place, so that is worth 5,000. The 6 is highlighted. It is in the millions place, so it's 6 times a million, 6 million. This one, I'm going to go ahead and grab my annotation tool. If you're wondering why I didn't just turn the answers on, because I didn't want to give you 12 and 13 as a freebie. So I want to make sure you can actually do this. Oh, sorry, I'm going to go down to here. Rates numbered in standard form. I'm going to move it up here just a hair. So 94 million. I'm going to put a comma because I'm going to go to the next period. 237 is in the thousands period. 108 is in the ones period. So that's your answer. Now, standard form here, we have 8 times a million. So now we're going to go into the thousands period. There's a 5 in the 10,000s and a 2 in the 1,000s. So that's 52,000. Notice I did not put anything in the 100,000s column because there wasn't one. Now we go to the ones period. We have 6 times 100. There are no 10s. There are no ones. 8,052,600. If your answers aren't matching up, please send me a quick message. I can find resources or talk it out with you. Khan Academy is a great resource if you're really stuck. So I'm going to clear my screen of all drawings so that I can show you to do numbers 12, 13, 14, and 15. Go ahead and pause your video now. Welcome back. Let's turn our answers on here. Shade the model to show each fraction. Then write each fraction as a decimal. So you need to shade it. And you see it's 19 out of 100. The 1 tells me there's 1 full column. The 9 tells me there are 9 small blocks. So here's your 1 full column, your 9 blocks. And you have 19 over here because there's 1 full column and 9 blocks, no whole ones. And you can see that literally it's still the 19 with 2 decimal places. Over here we have 8 out of 10, or 8 over 10. So that tells me I need to color in 8 of these columns. Tells me how many tenths, because these are tenths columns. 0.8. All right, write each number in standard form and expanded form. Make sure you see these ands, although I'm going to probably try to avoid those on the test. During the MyMath, it might ask you to write it multiple ways. So first, 5 and 9 tenths. And tells me that's where my decimal point is. So 5, period, 9. So 5.9. That is 5 times 1 for your whole number. 9 times 1/10 is your 9 in the tenths place. That's your 9, 5.9. When you see it in parentheses in MyMath, that means you're in the decimals. So that's going to be a huge clue to you. Next one, 712 thousandths. Thousandths tells me there are 3 decimal places. There's my 3 decimal places, and the numbers in there are 712. In expanded form, there are no whole numbers. I have a 7 in the tenths place, so 7 times 1/10. I have a 1 in the hundredths place, so 1 times 1 over 100. And I have a 2 in the thousandths place, so 2 times 1 over 1,000. If you're catching the pattern, this gets a lot easier. If you're struggling, please do see me before engaging in this week's test. Oops, problem. Return this problems off. Go ahead and do numbers 22 to 26 by pausing the video. And I'll look forward to seeing you on the other side. Go ahead and pause now. Welcome back. Let's go ahead and turn our answers on. 1 cup is equal to 5/10 of a pint. Write the fraction as a decimal. So we're writing 5/10 as a decimal. And there's the tenths tell me there's 1 decimal place, and that is a 5 in that 10th spot, so 0.5. 24 Charles is moving from Springfield, which has 482,653 people, to Greenville, which has 362,987 people. Is he moving to a city with a greater or smaller population? Well, 4 is greater than 3, so Springfield has the larger population. So he's going to the one with the smaller population. Explain? Just write this number sentence. That number sentence is good enough explanation. 25, the population of Texas is about 27,500,000. Population of Florida is about 20,300,000, right? The population of Texas and Florida combined in word form. So you're going to go ahead and add them and then write them out in word, your sum, which is the word for an answer to an addition problem. You're going to go ahead and write it out as 47,800,000. And 26, which number results in a true sentence? So in 475,000 says less than. So I need something less or that's going to be greater than 475 thousandths. Well, 473 is smaller than 475. 474, smaller than 475. 475 equal to 475. So your final answer is 476 because 476 thousandths is greater than 475. This concludes our test review. I do hope that you will take the time to really make sure you have this down pat. Make sure you know the vocabulary. I'm now asking you to go to the Google Classroom. There will be an assignment here. It's not a very long one, but just some selected answers. And then tomorrow's session will include our chapter assessment. Not aimed to be very long, but it is aimed to make sure you have a good grasp on it. So if you have questions, seek me out at mireland@psychchipschool.net or see me during office hours tomorrow or even today, depending on what time you're watching this, or reach out whatever way works best for you. So without further ado, I want to wish you all a Minoki Shigat. Mama P.